putting 9 teaspoons of sugar down on a plate over and over and over again. Good morning, everyone, and it is literally morning. Still enjoying my hands-free. My goodness, what a rainy day it is. So, first car chat with a tripod. Today, I wanted to talk about the link of sugar and heart disease. These are fairly new studies anyway. When I say fairly new, I'm talking less than 20 years old, because usually studies that are worth their weight have to have at least 10 years behind them. But there is an extreme link between sugar and heart disease. One of these studies I know comes from Harvard University. I'm not a statistical person, so I'm not carrying around a lot of footnotes or anything else, but there are doctors out there that definitely link the two. If you drink sodas or you drink energy drinks or even some of the fruit juices and some of the more natural fruit juices that come from the store, you're pretty much getting about 9 teaspoons of sugar with it. That in itself is something that kind of takes the appetizing out of it. But sugar, basically one thing that it does is it will raise your blood pressure, contributing to heart disease. Another thing that it'll do, your body wants to combat that sugar, and because it wants to combat that sugar, it's throwing more cholesterol out there. The components of the sugar, when they break down and digest, damages the inside of your veins, and then cholesterol runs in to try to help patch that up. There is evidence that sugar does raise cholesterol in the body. It also raises your blood pressure. We know sodas are bad for us. We also know that fruit juices and all kinds of sports drinks and waters and things like that do contain hidden sugars. The thing is to be careful about sugar intake, because you think that you may not be getting it. Also, my suggestion too is to look into the foods that you eat too on a daily basis. Coffee creamers, also spaghetti sauces or any kind of tomato sauces. Sometimes there's sugars to kind of kill the acid, the acidic taste of it. Take into account the sugars that are in these things. It really does have an effect on heart health. Pretty much it's very famous information that salts, you need to keep the salts out of your diet. You need to keep alcohol out of your diet and things like that. But one thing that's not really widespread knowledge is the amount of sugar that you're actually getting. It really does make a difference. You can find this research. I wish I had facts and figures and things like that for you, but just unfortunately, like I said, I'm very much a person that will do facts and figures. I'll even research it and make sure that it was true and sure that it was valid. But at the same time, I just don't write down footnotes and things like that. The thing is here to send you on the path, because I'll tell you, it does make a difference. We all know that it's bad for us. We all know that it's very bad for us, and your hidden amounts. If you're eating candy on a daily basis, or you're drinking sports drinks or any energy drinks, you pretty much know where your sugar is coming from. But then there are cases of foods where you don't. I'd suggest finding out what has refined sugar. Now, when I say sugar, I'm not necessarily talking about fruits. There are those that you do kind of have to take some of that into account too. Instead of like a sugary dessert that actually has a refined sugar in it, you feel like something sweet, go get some cherries or berries. If you have to make it more dessert-like, just maybe watch what you put on top of it, or top it with something. Make it lovely. You don't have to just eat cherries straight from the store. If you have a more discriminating taste or something like that, just maybe like a tiny bit of chocolate syrup over cut cherries, or whatever the case may be. Just take into account your sugar intake. And again, I can't get enough of this. If you just imagine this, if you are drinking a soda or you are drinking an energy drink, just imagine taking a teaspoon and putting 9 teaspoons of sugar down on a plate over and over and over again. Just imagine what that would come to. Just try to visualize, how much sugar that would come to. That's technically what you're getting with an energy drink or soda, and that is a lot of sugar when you think about it. Also, in the Harvard study that I was reading, I believe it's 20% or 25%. The average American will 25% of their daily intake is sugar. Another thing that they said is the sugar pretty much will fill you up, and because you're being filled up with the sugars, you're less likely to reach out for foods that would be good for you and will help your body, or because you're replacing those with sugar, which is kind of filling. You're less likely to reach for greens, or if you have that chocolate cake, who wants an apple afterwards? There's a valid concern about sugars. We all know they're bad for us anyway, but just different facets of your health. But with those facets of health, just also take into consideration that lowering your sugar intake will most definitely help your heart health too. And it's not just a matter of sugar will make you fat. You'll get your sugar rush and then you're down and low energy and things like that. It is a study where inside your body it is, helping produce the cholesterol. It's the body's attempt to heal itself. Cholesterol on itself is a band-aid, remember. It's not the enemy, it's a band-aid. The cholesterol is the body's way of making a band-aid. Putting sugar in your body is telling the body that it needs to make a lot more band-aids, and too much cholesterol is going to clog up your veins. Watch your sugars. Next time you feel like a dessert, have something fruit-based that has a good raw fruit in it, so you're not totally feeding your body a sugar bomb. And remember, every time you drink a soda, that 9 teaspoons of sugar going in, that's a lot of sugar. So with that being said, have a good day, and I will talk to you later.